City started in 2011. I lost Simeon on February 7th of 2011, and not even weeks after I had that experience, I was sitting on the couch and I was like, this can't be real. And then the fact that people are going through it alone, and the people around me wanted to support me, they wanted to be there, and they just didn't know how. I was like, I'm gonna call it Mothers to Mothers, and we're just gonna help people. And at the time, I just wanted to help people navigate the process. Like, when you experience this loss, I want to be there and help you go through it, and so that you don't have to make all of these decisions by yourself. I was working at a community center, and we would use one of the rooms after hours and hold meetings and just say whoever wants to come. And sometimes it was just me and Lynette, just sitting talking to each other, eating the snacks that we had for whoever was going to come. But we stuck through it, and we think about that all the time now because, years later, we're here, and through the people that we did work with, the mothers that we did work with, and what we were essentially teaching them, and what I was saying I went through, and how I was able to heal, and the resources and support, um, we learned that, like, this is not something that only moms who have experienced loss can use. Dads experience loss, people experience loss. Anytime you lose something, that is, you go through a grief process. And so we expanded recently, maybe about 2 years ago now, we expanded to working with people in the community and promoting positive healing just in the community with everything you're going through, and having a chance to just, like, really, be supported by people that understand.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for being here with us. This is every year we try something new. And so last year was our first virtual event, and this year it's our second virtual event, but the first time that we are going live on Facebook, and we're in Zoom. So thank you to Facebook friends and Zoom friends for being on, and any friends that will watch the replay that I hope we are getting, because we're working on it. This is all new to us. So I really love that, watching that video, because it does remind me of our first gala that we did, that we were so excited for. Everyone was in the room. We got to sit and be with each other and hug each other and talk to each other. And we are just really hoping to be able to get back to that. But we are here tonight and just really excited. And so before we start our program, what I want to do is I want to introduce the Propacity Board. I hope that everyone can be seen right now. If you can't, I heard you may need to change your the view, the way you're looking, but I hope that you can see everyone. So I will just start by introducing and reading the bio of our really awesome board members. I could not do any of this without their help. I would be going crazy. So first I have Pastor Tara Register. Maybe wave, or just so they know it's you, but Tara Register works with the Family Nurturing Center, leading a Department of Children and Families Community Connections Coalition called Dorchester Cares. She works in the community supporting and connecting families to resources and services that help decrease abuse and neglect, help families to heal and recover from the impacts of trauma, and facilitates nurturing parenting programs. She is a member of the City of Boston's Neighborhood Trauma Team, the Boston Trauma Response Team, pastor of the Evangelism and Community Outreach Ministries at Full Life Gospel Center, serves as the DCF Regional Board member appointed to the Civilian Review Board for the Mayor's Office of Police Accountability and Transparency, and is a certified life coach. Often she is heard saying, "My work doesn't stop when I turn off the light and close the office door. For me, this is a lifestyle." Thank you, Pastor Tara, for being on our board. Next, I have Lynette Peavy. She is the treasurer for Proper City Community Outreach. She has been with PCCO since 2011, and that is since before we began, but 2011 is when we began. She's been serving in many capacities. She is a retired business development professional with a background in sales planning and performance planning. Lynette has devoted herself to living a life of purpose and is particularly passionate about the power of education and positive influence on her community's youth. Having experienced firsthand the effects of loss, she recognizes the need to bring awareness, provide educational information, and support to the individuals and families of those who have gone through pregnancy and infant loss. Thank you, Lynette, for being on our board, being our treasurer, and all things. Next, I have Jessica Paulino Arnold. She's a community member, has been a community member since 2020. She's turned board member now for PCCO, and she is the founder of the EMA project in honor of her son. She is a global HR professional with over 18 years of experience and is dedicated to social justice issues and maternal health advocacy. She's committed to supporting those experiencing pregnancy and infant loss within her community with the focus on the high mortality rate of Brown and Black birthing persons. Thank you, Jessica, for joining our board and being such an important part of our board. So the goal for tonight is that, some of us are getting Zoom fatigue and watching things and all of that. So our goal tonight is to allow you to join us, as these are conversations we're having all the time. We're always around the table. We're always, chatting and talking about things. And so our goal is to allow you to kind of join us, to be a part of our conversation. So please, if you have something to say, whether you're on Facebook or Zoom, join us, talk in the chat, talk to us, be a part of the conversation. But the hope is that this feels more like a conversation than a lecture or just a video you're watching. So board members, I'd like to talk to you for a little bit. So we all know that the mission of PCCO is to provide education, advocacy, public awareness, and support services to families in our community experiencing all types of loss. We know that our vision is to unite the community and support families in the process of healing in a positive way. The question I have for each of you is, what makes Proper City Community Outreach stand out? I know that you all are here for a different reason. We don't even all have the same goals to why we are joining Proper City and what we want to do with Proper City and beyond. So in your mind, what makes PCCO stand out? And so I will start with Lynette.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. So I think that being here from the beginning, like I saw the passion, I saw the drive, I saw the love, the compassion of where it came from. And so I really believed in the mission. And so that's what keeps me staying around and what I think sets us apart. I also think that there's just a genuineness about you, about what you want the organization to do, along with the board members. And what we want is to see people really healed from the things, from loss, right? And I think that PCCO has not lost sight of that throughout the years. Like, we're very consistent. And I know that as some organizations grow, they kind of lose sight of the why. And I think that we've been consistent in doing that. I think we do it from a place of love, from our heart, and everything that we do when we're talking about our next steps, it's always what we can do for our community. And that's always at the forefront of our mind. And so I think that's what sets PCCO apart. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynette. Jessica.
Good evening, everyone. Much like Lynette, I'm going to piggyback on some of the things that she said. For me, it's definitely the compassion. There's a lot of value in this community. People look like me. That's one of the main things that attracted me to it, to be honest. Feeling very supported amongst this group of women who really become your sisters in this pain and help you navigate. I think all of us, it's beautiful to see where all of us are in our journeys. I'm only 2 years in to this lost journey, and it's inspiring to see how others are doing further down the line. Not that it's a comparison, but I think it gives you hope that, this dark place that you may be in after losing such a precious child, that you can see hope in the healing of others. So I'm very grateful to be a part of this community and this sisterhood.
Thank you. Pastor Tara.
Good evening, everyone. I am someone who comes from a place of community. I work in the community. I even pastor in the community. And so that's something that stands out to me about Proper City. They do a lot in regards to creating a community for women and for men and for dads and for grandmothers, right? To even come together and just to be in a space that's safe and that's supportive. And so in creating that space, we do a lot of things in the community. Our Family Restoration Day, just the name of alone, is about restoration, is about restoring and bringing back, getting back to that good, healthy place. We have our Hearts Release that we do. That's another form of community where we are out in the community and we're doing things and doing this activity and bringing light to the names of our children that we have lost. So that really stands out to me about Proper City, is that they do work with families and they do work with individuals, but this is a community and they do a lot of things in the community to just bring that love, bring that compassion, and bring that support to everyone. And so I just really appreciate the fact that they go back and reach out.
Thank you so much. I think for me, what stands out to Proper City is, or what stands out about Proper City is, I know that, a few of you have mentioned my transparency and my work, but for me, it's the families that join us. And it's that no one's story is the same. And people really do, it takes a lot to show up. Even now that we're on a screen, I feel like it takes even more to show up on a screen with a bunch of people you don't know and, for the very first time, and to keep coming back. And for me, that's what stands out, because anyone can say, we have this group, and anyone can say we have this organization, but are the people there? Are they showing up? Are they feeling invested in a way that they want to show up and be here? And, a lot of the families say, okay, what's next? I love that. What else can we do? How else can we support? And they, I'm saying they, or you all, everyone, that joins wants to be involved, and in some capacity stays involved forever after that, and it doesn't always have to be showing up every week, as years go by, but it's in different ways, and we'll see that as the night goes on. But for me, that is what stands out, is just our community members. And so and our supporters, and that we have galas on Zoom and people come, and on Facebook, and I'm seeing the viewers, and I love it, and so for me, it's the people that show up for us in so many different kinds of ways. So thank you for sharing that, and thank you for being on our board, because although we are highlighting our community and we're highlighting our sponsors and the people that have stuck by us, my board has stuck by me, and so I'm honoring you all as well. So thank you so much for being a part of Proper City. So speaking of community, Pastor Tara, would you please talk a little bit about our community impact?
Yes, sure. So one of the things that we just really focused a lot this year was on awareness and education for the community members and our healthcare professionals. We really worked really hard to try to make sure that the hospitals knew about this resource and this opportunity to connect with other families. So we did a lot of work around that, and a lot of collaborating and partnering with the community. And so this year we were able to partner with Vital Village, Resolve New England, Stillbirth Day, the EMA Project. We collaborated with BIDMC, the OBGYN Grand Rounds. We're going and really speaking to the professionals in the hospital and talking to them about this resource and about Proper City, and working with mothers and families that are dealing with loss. We also work we supported the healthcare professionals that work with these families experiencing pregnancy and infant loss. We created blessing bags for homeless with Johnson Middle School of Walpole. So definitely working with our young people. We worked with State Representative Liz Miranda, Mass Department of Transportation in the governor's office to light up the Zachem Longfellow bridges for Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Day. I hope everybody was able to see the bridges that were lit up in Cambridge and right here in Boston. It was a beautiful sight. We were able to partner and collaborate with Dorchester Cares Coalition, Family Nurturing Center, Mothers Raising Black and Brown Boys Initiative. We presented on maternal health for the Boston alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Beta sorority. So we really focus, because we can't be outside, we can't be doing a lot of the hands-on work that we love to do. We were still able to connect, to collaborate, and to partner with our community to make sure that they knew that we were here and that we were available for families. And so next we want to have some remarks from our community partner, Jessie Colbert.
Hi, thanks so much. I'm really happy to be here. I'm Jessie Colbert and I'm with the Mass PPD Fund, and we're a nonprofit working on postpartum depression and other new parent mental health issues. So we've been super lucky to partner with Stephanie and Propacity over the past couple of years. Our work is to connect people in the community working with moms and parents with resources on new parent mental health, like postpartum depression and grief and loss, resources like trainings, hotlines, therapists, and we can also help spread the word about organizations like yours. As folks have said, it's really hard to reach out for help on our own mental health, but it's easier to take steps towards healing when we do it together with a helping hand from the community, just like you all do. So Propacity has been the perfect partner for us to help get some resources out to families in the city, and we're really, really grateful. As I'm sure you all know, when it comes to healing, one size doesn't fit all, right? For some people, a support group with other moms can make a difference. Some people who may be having a tougher time might need therapy or medication or both. But everybody, this theme has come up. One thing that is universal is that community is healing. And that's the magic of your organization. Just knowing somebody else is out there, has been through the same thing, that they care, they know how much loss hurts, that it's real, and that we can talk about it and lift one another up is so powerful. Also, if that support and healing doesn't happen with loss, or sometimes even if it does, that loss doesn't go away. So when a rainbow baby comes, sometimes that pain and that anxiety can come creeping back. So it's awesome that Propacity understands that and can help in those times. So thank you, Stephanie and Propacity, for this beautiful community and this beautiful event. And we're so grateful for your partnership. So in addition to our organizational gift, I'm happy to give a personal gift tonight to match it. So I hope everybody is here either because they benefited directly or as a supporter, they can also give generously tonight to support this super, super important work. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jessie. We appreciate you being partners. We're so happy that, you know, we were able to connect. And so thank you so much. And I hope we stay partners until forever. Thank
Me
you
too.
so much for your work. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Okay. And so now we will have our treasurer, Lynette Peavy, talk about our Share the Love program. Hi, Lynette.
Hello. Hi.
And so tonight, what we are, sorry guys, I'm like, okay. So tonight, what we are doing, again, as I said, is we are having conversations. And so Lynette is here as our treasurer, but we are having a conversation as two, I guess, colleagues, friends, sisters in life, sisters in loss. And we just want to have a real conversation for everyone, right? I do have some questions for you. And I just want to interview you a little bit about being the treasurer of Proper City. This is also a first, everyone. She's usually we haven't had this actual conversation, so I don't know what she's gonna say. She might say that I drive her crazy, and that's okay. So this is our first time for us having this conversation, but I'm gonna ask you some questions about being the Proper City treasurer. Okay, so Lynette, what has it been like being the treasurer of Proper City over the last 11 years?
It's been amazing. No, it really has been good because I've served in so many different capacities. And so I've learned the organization, I think, from inside out. But I think, we keep going back to the beginning. And so in the beginning, it was literally like you and I funding all the things, any crazy idea that we had, it was never about the money. For us, we gave from a place of wanting people to heal and to hear about us and to know about this organization and to let them know that we are out here and that we just really wanted to help in any way that we could. And then, then our mom started getting involved. So like, Cheryl Hinton, Shelby Dickerson, and the Edler, like, we'd be like, we want to do this thing and we need some stuff or we need some money. And they would gladly give it to us because, they believed in us. And like, as every year went by, like we just got bigger and bigger and more people started knowing about us. And then people just started giving. And I think that it's just amazing to see as a treasurer because, we need money for the organization to run and that people see us, they recognize us and they recognize that the importance of the work. And so they want to give so that we can keep going. I think that's been like great to see over the past 11 years.
Yeah, I remember us walking through like Dollar Tree and Walmart, like, well, let's do this bag. This is a good, let's put them, because our care packages started in bags. And we were like, this is a good bag. Like even then we were trying to be very intentional about what we were doing.
Dollars.
Yeah. Yeah, but we were in Dollar Tree.
But give good things from the heart.
Yeah. And I do think it's really awesome to see that everybody, as it grew, like you said, our family members are like, okay, we'll do the plates and cups for the event, or we'll do this and that, and now just jumping off of the awesome word from Jesse that we just had, like, now there are other organizations and other people that are saying, no, yeah, this is important. It's important to help these families. It's important to make sure that this, that these things are intentional. And I love that we can still be intentional. And I know last year we expanded a lot, and like with the care packages, we were able to add little scents and different things like that just from the giving of others. So I really think that's great. Yeah. So speaking of that, talk a little bit about our sponsors and just what it's been like and our relationships with them.
So I think we've been very blessed and fortunate to start getting some really good people to sponsor us in our endeavors and our efforts. And one person, Diane Dickerson, she's pretty amazing. She supports us financially. She was even a big part of why the Home Shopping Network was one of our sponsors for this year. And I think that was just so amazing. I think she was just so excited for us too. And like, just knowing that people are really out there that care about what we are doing. It's just amazing. And so also we have sponsors from the Mabel Louise Riley Foundation, Mass PPD Fund, our church, Imani Temple Church of God in Christ, the Vision Now Community Development Corporation. Again, Cheryl Hinton, she has been there from the beginning and she supports us with everything that we do. Also, Christine Rose, I know she's on. I would just want to say thank you, because for last year, she gave to us every month. And that was a new concept for me. And I'm like, oh, wow, there's somebody out there that wants to give to our organization every month. And so I thought that was amazing. And I was just like, wow. So thank you, Christine. Also, people do birthday fundraisers on social media. Like, they don't have to think about us, but throughout all of last year, people have done birthday fundraisers just to give to our organization to help us out. So just thank you to those people as well. And then everyone who donated last year at the gala. It was just amazing, like, to see, like, we plan something, we ask, and people are literally believing what we're saying, and they're giving to us and helping us out. So, like, a huge thank you to that. And then also, like, a big thank you to Shelby Dickerson, who was one of our biggest supporters from the beginning as well, who is no longer with us, but we always have to acknowledge her for just giving, because she's always believed in us, and she would keep us on schedule, knowing our schedule for the year before we even knew our schedule for the year. And so it doesn't go unnoticed, your support, sponsoring us, believing in us, matching our passion with your passion to just see the organization grow. We truly, we thank you, and we appreciate everybody who gives to us, even all of you who are on today. Like, thank you so much, who purchased a ticket. Like, you didn't have to, but you did. And so we're thankful for that. Like, our gratitude is huge, and it's big. I hope I didn't forget anyone or any organization, but I think I covered a lot. And if I did, charge it to my head and not my heart.
I thinking about when you said, the Facebook fundraisers and, like the Cash Apps and all those different, we have all of those things. I specifically think it's so special when people do, aside from the birthdays, the other, like, the birthdays of their children, or like different ways to honor their children. Sometimes they will have people donate. We've had a few people reach out to us, which this is so special to me. It's not something that we ever advertised, but we've had people that are friends of families that are connected to us, and they'll say, we want to donate money in honor of this child's name. And I remember the first time that someone did it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna make your certificate. Oh, that's gonna be great. Oh, I love this. And it was just so fun to do it, and it was so awesome to see it happen. And that, like, they not only are the families invested in us, but their friends and their family members are like, oh, this is somewhere that is a safe place for them, is an awesome place for them, it's helped them. And so we want to sow into that. And I just love it. And it's less about the money and more about honoring that baby in a way, and that the families felt, that this is a way that they could do it, a tangible way to honor those children. So that is great. So thank you. Okay. So my next question for you is, why is it important to support PCCO and its mission?
For many, many reasons. I think that I'll talk about it from a monetary standpoint first. But I think that every dollar that is given to us, it goes to a mom, right? Or a family member or something, but it's going towards somebody who is working actively on their healing, right? And I think for me, it just shows that there's somebody else out there who cares about people that they don't even know, right? When we think about loss can be a lonely place. It can be an isolating place. And to know that there are people like you guys on today that say, we believe in this work and we want to give to somebody that we don't even know, but we want them to heal in a positive way. Like, that's so important. Like, it helps us carry out our mission and do the work that we want to do. This year, we've set some really high goals for ourselves, or last year, well, from the beginning, right? And we're starting to see it happen now, right? And that happens because people, like organizations that are on today, that may not be on today, sharing about our organization, talking about us, and just telling somebody else, sending moms to us, and hospitals and different things. So I think it's important because it keeps us going. It keeps us helping other people, right? And that's our goal. We just want to help as many people as we can. And with the support of our sponsors and people who donate, like it allows us to continue doing that and to also do it without charging anything. Like it was never about us wanting to make any money, but we literally want people to heal and not have to worry about, I can't afford that, right? And so I think that when everybody gives, it helps somebody else that they don't even know. And then it allows us to give our care packages. Like you said, in the beginning, we had bags, you know, and every year we're able to make it a little more customized and that much more special for our moms. And so I think that that's important, and it's a pretty big deal. And it just shows our growth and continues to show the heart that the organization has and the heart of all of our sponsors or people who give and sponsor us.
And I would like to add that as of right now, I think we've talked about it and Lynette did speak on it, that all of the money right now goes right to the work that we're doing. We are a board, and then Lynette and I are out doing the work, and we are still volunteer members of volunteer staff of Proper City. And one day we will be a nationwide organization and probably will have to pay people. But right now, we do love that we are able to just do the work that we're able to do. You know what I mean? And just get it done. And it's just, it's really important to us. And so one day, Lynette, I will be able to pay you for your services, but
no need. I do this from my heart.
But for now, we really do love doing it. And I do want to say that. So Lynette, we talked about it a little bit, but I want to ask you, how can community members get involved in PCCO?
So there's a few ways. One, by giving, which we like to call share the love. And so you can do that through our Cash App, which is $PCCO. You can do PayPal or even Venmo. I think we're pretty high tech this year, and you can scan the QR code on the screen to make it even more easy for you to give. And then also you can share our organization with people in your networks and your communities that need our services, and you know, that maybe just have something that they think they can offer the organization in terms of an expertise in a certain area. We're always looking to give whoever needs something what they need based on the resources that we have. And so if we don't have it, we do our best to find a way to get it. So if you think you have something that we could share with our community, like reach out to us. And there's also a page on our website. It's called Get Connected, I believe. And so you can go there and kind of see where you can fit in the organization. So I hope I answered that question correctly.
Yes. So thank you, Lynette, so much. Again, thank you for being our treasurer. Thank you to everyone that we have mentioned, and those hopefully we mentioned everyone in some form. And thank you for anyone that is choosing to donate tonight. But also thank you for anyone who is sharing this video, sharing this, the video on Facebook, sharing our website. When you hear of a loss or anything, thinking of us and saying, oh, I know who can help. And that is really the most important thing for us. Share the love. It's not called share the money. We like it. We appreciate it. It helps us get our stuff done, but share the love. So, whatever you have in your heart, share that. So thank you so much. And so while we give you a chance to let that settle in, we just want to show one more video to highlight some of our sponsors. Let me know if you can't hear.
So I just wanted to talk a little bit about this certificate of appreciation that you are looking at. As Lynette mentioned earlier, we had a wonderful she was like she was a member in herself, you know, even though she may not have been on the board, she was such a behind the scenes, making it happen, running errands, bringing food, dropping off materials. I mean, she was one of us. And this is Shelby Dickinson, and Lynette spoke about her, just all the extra that she did for us. And she was my mother, and she was Stephanie's grandmother, and we lost her in October. But she is forever going to be remembered, not just because she's my mom, not just because she's Nani to so many of us, but because, you know, her spirit and her giving and her legacy is living on through us, but also through what she did with us in Proper City. So she gave, and she gave, and she gave some more. That's just who she was. And so all those who will continue to give to Proper City, we created a scholarship fund in her name, the Shelbia Irene Scholarship Fund. And it is because she gave to the young people, especially. You know, when we would do our career fair and talk to and do the youth expo and talk to our young people about how to get jobs and have the gift bags for them when they left, you know, she was pouring into them. She always poured into the young people who were finishing school. If you were about to graduate, she was giving you something. If you were on your way to college, she was giving you something. So because she wanted to make sure that you got to that next place. And so we just wanted to honor her tonight. We wanted to show you the certificate of appreciation that we send out to all those who give to the scholarship fund. You are welcome to give to the scholarship fund. I'm pretty sure somewhere in tonight that we will be able to tell you how to give. But just know that this is something that we created in honor of her name when we lost her in 2021. She will never be forgotten, but she will continue to touch lives. She will continue to give in regards to the young people, because what she gave, we're going to continue to give to others. And so we thank you for all those who have already contributed to the scholarship, to the Shelbia Irene Scholarship Fund. We thank you to all those who want to give and who will continue to give, but she was a special person, and not just because she was my mom, but she was just a special individual, and we love her, and her light will continue to shine. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And just a reminder, there are several ways to give. You can give through our Cash App, our PayPal, or Venmo. And we greatly appreciate you sharing the love for being here with us today. And I think that concludes my portion.
Thank you, Lynette. Anyone that wants to give directly to this fund can add that as a note on your donation, and it will go directly to that account. Thank you so much. Okay.
Good evening. The Remembrance Simeon Gala is dedicated to educating others about pregnancy and infant loss. Our goal is to allow our viewers to hear from those who are living this experience every day. We aim to normalize talking about our babies. They're here, they existed. Checking in on our loved ones and engaging in meaningful conversation around pregnancy and infant loss. This is one of the reasons why Proper City has been so special to me in my loss journey. You know, we have a mama chat that we're going to be introducing you to with some of the ladies, some of the lost moms that we support. And just to say a little bit about myself, I became a member of this community after the loss of my son, Eddie Manuel. He was born at 24 weeks gestation, and he lived 22 days. So Proper City has been very dear to my own healing and my own path, been very inspired by Stephanie, which has helped me create and launch the EMA project in support of other families as well. So my goal is always to not just honor my baby, but honor all of our babies that are in heaven, and to speak their name and make sure that others know them. And so we're going to be introducing some of the moms we have shortly. I just wanted to read some of the memories that were shared by some of our community members. So these are things that we wish you knew. And I wish people knew that everyone grieves differently. It comes in waves, and it's most definitely okay to cry. This is in memory of Jace Coleman. And these are some images that show the type of memories that we hold on to when it comes to our angel babies. And then in our mama chat, we're going to be speaking with Stephanie, Candace, Patricia, Jenna, Emily, Kelsey, and Candace. And these are all very special ladies who we all have the pleasure of being in support of each other, because it really is a team effort. They support me just as much as, I support them. And it's a beautiful gift. So we'll have everyone highlighted on the screen for the moms that are participating. If you can please turn your video on, we will spotlight you in the chat so that everyone can see you. And I'm gonna go in order that I see you on the screen. So Kelsey, you are the first one to go. Just tell us a little bit about your name and your story.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Kelsey, and I am the mother to 2 angel babies. So I joined Propa City in April 2020 when I lost my first daughter, Emerson, to an extremely rare condition called chaos at 34 weeks gestation. And then shortly after that, I got pregnant again with my son, Elliot. And it seemed to be a pretty normal pregnancy. But unfortunately, we found out at 18 weeks that he had no heartbeat. So Stephanie was there for me through each of these losses, along with a lot of these other women. So Propa City has really been huge in my healing and my advocating and my sharing. So I'm just grateful to be here tonight to talk with everybody, to share my story, and to continue to spread awareness.
Thank you so much, Kelsey, for sharing your story and for sharing Emerson and Elliot with us. I'm going to go next to Emily. If you could please just tell us your name and your story and share a little bit about yourself.
Hello, my name is Emily Kiyoantasan, and I am currently a mom of 3. My middle child is named Leia, and she's also my angel baby. I lost Leia at 37 weeks of my pregnancy for unknown reasons on June 12th, 2020. It honestly feels like yesterday, and it was one of the hardest things I ever had to go through. I was being monitored every week with a high-risk pregnancy at the time, and one day she just had no heartbeat. And with this community, I learned how to navigate through the hard times.
Thank you so much, Emily, and thank you for sharing Leila with us. Jenna, if you could please go next.
Hi, my name is Jenna, and I lost my daughter, Haven Sienna, on January 26th, 2019. I was 25 weeks pregnant. It came as a surprise. As most of the moms, I went in for a routine appointment and I had felt something wasn't right. And I got told that everything was okay. Her heartbeat was great. And I was a first-time mom, and my instincts kicked in the next couple of days. And I asked if I could come back in. And when I came back in, I thought they were just going to tell me she's okay. And I got the news that I feel like we all have in common, is that I'm sorry, there's no heartbeat. And I think that's the moment for all of us where our lives completely stop. Your back's against the wall and your whole world changes. But like they said in the beginning, this community was huge for me, and I know for everyone else, and they've helped all of us, get back up again and, work towards healing. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Jenna, for sharing. Patricia.
Hi, everybody. My name is Patricia, and my angel baby's name is Camilla. I had her on May 21st of 2019. It was actually the day after my baby shower, and I had celebrated on the day before her passing, and give me a second, sorry.
It's okay, you're doing great.
I hadn't felt her the whole day, but I kind of was busy. So for me, it was more so of, I'm busy, like maybe she's just, exhausted as much as I was. And so I kind of just was enjoying the day and celebrating her. And then the next day I had woken up just, it felt weird to me. Like it didn't feel like, it felt like something was wrong. So going in and doing that checkup and hearing those words were heartbreaking. So anyway, I now have my rainbow baby, Ava, and she is the light of my life right now. And I still clearly, as you could see, grieve Camilla, but I'm getting through it. I'm healing day by day. So
thank you so much, Patricia, for your words, but also your tears. I mean, this is very real. We're all dealing with this day by day as best as we can. And we're just so happy to be able to support you and at least offer you some comfort, while you're grieving. Thank you for sharing, Camilla. We'll always keep her light going. Candace?
Hi, everybody. Good evening. My name is Candace Privet. My angel baby's name is Aiden Anderson. I, like many of the other moms, went in for routine appointments. And it's interesting because the morning of my appointment was one of the best days of my pregnancy. I woke up, I took a shower, I got to my appointment early. I wasn't rushing or running late like I normally was. And I even had time to have breakfast when I got to the hospital. And I got to my appointment. I was waiting in the waiting room and I knew something wasn't right when the tech wouldn't make eye contact with me. And she was like, I'll be right back. And the doctor came back in and she was just like, I'm sorry, there's no heartbeat. And prior to that, I didn't even know that this kind of community existed. I, like Patricia, just had my rainbow baby. Our babies are actually a week apart. So we have this really it's a sisterhood, but we also have this bond where we have these babies that are no longer here. And now we have these other babies that we're kind of raising together. But the one thing that I would like for people that haven't necessarily been through a loss, what I would love for them to know is that having another baby doesn't change anything. You still grieve the same way. I always compare it to living in a parallel universe, where I have this happiness because I have this new baby that lights up my life, and then I have sadness because I never got any of those moments with my son. And loss is ugly. It's ugly, it's beautiful. You meet all of these new people and people come and they go, and you have people that are going to be there for the rest of your life, but then it's really sad as well. So I am thankful for Proper City because I've made some of these lifelong relationships, and I am forever indebted and forever grateful, and will always participate in anything that they ask me to do.
Thank you so much, Candace, and thank you so much for sharing your babies with us. We truly appreciate you being here. Lynette Johnson.
Hi everyone, my name's Lynette. I lost my daughter July 9th, 2019. I was 38 weeks pregnant, a day before my 38-week checkup. I just woke up in the middle of the night and I felt like something wasn't right. I called. They told me to come in, and that's when they told me there was no heartbeat. Everything after that's pretty much a blur. I had a baby, but I don't remember anything after that. Like my body went into shock, and I like don't remember the rest of like the next day and a half. Um, I did get pregnant again 3 months after that, but a week before Christmas, me and my husband, we lost that baby as well. It's been hard. I do have a 11-year-old daughter. Um, and she's been like my my saving grace. If I didn't have her, and I don't know where I would be, because it's hard to have like, two losses back to back like that. Especially once you've been trying for so long to conceive. And my daughter that I lost in July, she was an IVF baby. So that experience alone is already a lot. And then to lose that child, it's a lot, but I'm very thankful for Stephanie, Lynette, the whole of Proper City. They've helped me navigate through my grief. It's far from over. It will never be over. I have good days, I have bad days. But I just I've learned to like push through it just so that I can continue to be a good mom for my 11-year-old, because I have no choice but to be a good mom to her. And I'm just thankful for all of the women that I've met and the friendships that I've made.
Thank you so much for sharing, Lynette, and for everyone for your courage and vulnerability tonight. Patricia, what are some words you would use to describe how you felt when you experienced your loss prior to joining PCCO? You're on mute.
Story of my life. But some words that I would say that describes that moment is definitely intense sadness. Like, it's so intense, it's so unbearable. Confusion, feeling alone. I had gone in by myself, so I had nobody else with me. So I felt very alone in that moment, and confused, guilty for not. I don't know. All I can say is just very intense. It's just so unbearable that I couldn't, there's no words really that could really describe that very moment. But because, we had no choice but to try to describe to somebody, that's the best way that I can put it.
I think that is the best way to say it. It is, the worst feeling that you can experience, and I'm sure all of us, can relate to that that are on the screen now. Candace, what kept you coming back to the support group?
I wasn't going to be on mute before I started talking. I would have to say, I started because I felt like I didn't know it existed prior to it happening to me. It felt like it was my village almost, and it felt like my place to be, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't feel comfortable around like other friends. Like, my childhood best friend, we've been best friends for 26 years. And I remember her calling like shortly after I lost my son and being like, "Oh, I want to come and visit you." And I was just like, "Oh, I absolutely don't think that's a good idea. I don't want to see you." Just because I knew she wasn't going to understand. She came anyway, but she just kind of sat there. And I was thankful for that. It took me months to be thankful for it, but it's different to get support from people that actually know what you're going through, because people will always say to you, "Oh, it's going to get better," or "It's not going to always be like this." And it's just like, you don't know that because you've never been here. So it was nice to see Stephanie being able to like live a life after loss. And it gave me the push to keep coming back. And it was a place for my mom and my sister to also get the support that they needed, because they didn't know what they were doing either. And so it was helpful in that aspect.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I totally agree. It's so inspiring to see all these women who I don't want to say are on the other side, right? But are riding the waves and are showing us the way. Because I really see them sort of as the elders within our village, you know. They've experienced this and have so many years under their belt with navigating these waves. And that's the best description of grief that I've heard of, right? It's like the waves. Sometimes they're nice and calm, but sometimes they can drown you, right? So it's important to stay present, to stay and lean into your village, into your support group. So I'm so glad that you've kept coming back. Jenna, what do you feel like you gained from being in our community?
I would definitely agree with Candace. It's like a sense of not feeling alone, because when you're in that hospital room and you're going through what you've gone through, and like what Patricia had touched upon, like you don't know what stillbirth is. Like when they told me she didn't have a heartbeat, I'm like, okay, are you going to resuscitate her? Like, what does this mean? And when they said I had to birth her, I was like, I don't understand. Like, it's something that I think what City is doing is they're bringing light to something that it does make people uncomfortable, but it's a reality for, you know, all of the moms on here and what we go through. And I think to have those people, I remember texting Patricia and Candace in the very beginning, like, you know, the hours that you couldn't sleep or you were so upset, and like they just understood. And I think, you know, as painful as it is, and I remember us saying in the beginning, like, if we hadn't gone through this, we would have never met each other. We would have never had the experience of meeting these people, of Stephanie, Lynette, that just like came up and scooped us up on the days that like brushing your teeth was like winning an Olympic medal. That's the only way I can say it. Getting out of bed was like, you know, that was your victory for the day. So I just think what they're doing is so huge, and anyone that can experience them and the love that they give you. And I think what Candace touched upon too is like seeing Stephanie like living again. And I'm like, are you sure like that's going to happen again? And to see it, and now to be 3 years out, you still grieve, but you start to live differently. And I think you change, and it's hard because you want the old you back, but because you've had such a significant loss of a child, you change. But I feel like they've given us hope and healing. So I appreciate them.
Thank you so much, Jenna. Yes, that is so true. Being able to see concrete examples of people living their life post-loss, I think it's really important. Kelsey, if someone asked you why it's important to support programs like PCCO, what would your answer be?
I think just kind of like going off what all of the other women were saying, you know, PCCO was really like a lifeline for me when I lost both of my babies, but especially when I lost Emerson, my first baby, in April of 2020. And it was right during the pandemic. So it was extremely isolating, and I felt so alone. And Stephanie was one of the first people that I talked to, and she helped me in so many ways because she just understood what I was going through, and she knew, you know, what to say. And she connected me with other women in this group too that I still talk to now. So I think just for all of us, it's so important to have this group in order to heal and, you know, as Jenna said, see others who are further along in this journey, how they're doing, and to know that like there is hope and there is healing. But it's just such a powerful place to be. So please continue to support everybody that is, because it's so extremely important for all of us moms that are in this to have this space.
Amen to that. It truly is a lifeline for all of us. Lynette, if someone asked you why it's, excuse me, other than grief and loss, what other ways were you supported by PCCO?
Well, grief and loss were my main outlets of support, but Stephanie and Lynette, they've become like good friends, you know, like sisters, family. And even on days where it may not be something about grief, 9 times out of 10 it is, you can reach out to them and just talk to them about pretty much anything. And it doesn't just stop because they don't stop caring about you because, just after you've 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 had a few meetings, or even like we don't have our meetings in person. But they still reach out, they still check in. And I think for me, grief and loss that's just my new norm. You just learn to cope with it. But I'm super thankful for them because I can reach out to them anytime, any day. And they will always make the time to talk to you or help you through whatever you need help with.
Thank you so much for sharing. Emily, how has Propa City supported you through your pregnancy after loss?
So the group has supported me tremendously during my time of grief, as well as my pregnancy after my loss. What helped me the most was just meeting on Zooms every Fridays. That was huge for me. Being able to connect with the women who are now my friends in this space made me feel less alone despite the circumstances we all faced. In the beginning of my loss, I felt like I would never find light or joy again, but the community helped me heal in ways I could have never imagined. The community created an amazing and supportive space, and being able to relate and understand the loss of a child when no one else around me did made me feel like my emotions matter and that I was being heard. And during my pregnancy, it was a roller coaster. Lynette and Stephanie and anyone else who could relate in that aspect, they reminded me to stay positive whenever, my mind wandered off elsewhere. And I'm just forever thankful and grateful for the group.
Thank you for sharing, Emily. This is a question for everyone. What is one thing you want family, friends, strangers, doctors, other professionals to know about pregnancy and infant loss that we may not have touched upon tonight? And I'll just call out names based on my screen position, but it's okay if you don't, have anything to add. Kelsey?
I think just the one thing that I would want, like mostly friends and family, but everybody to know is that it's okay to talk about our babies that we've lost and that we want to talk about them. So like, don't be afraid to bring them up into conversation. Because I think, it's always, we love these babies. We want to talk about them. We want to honor them. We want to continue to remember them. So just don't be afraid to bring them up into conversation or to speak about them.
Yeah, say their names. We want to hear their names. Emily, anything else to add?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with Kelsey. Our angel babies being acknowledged is one of the biggest things. I also would like to add that that I learned after, someone experiencing the loss of their child, that we will never be the same. We're forever changed, and our family will always be, incomplete. And I do take pride in knowing that, we can honor our child who was lost, and everyone else hopefully can honor our babies as well.
Thank you. Jenna?
I would say the biggest thing for family and friends is just to support them in the sense of that we don't expect them to understand or to know what we're going through, but we just want them to be supportive and, loving and a shoulder to cry on for us. And I think too, what Emily touched on is like you change and, people expect you to go back to the bouncing old you. And it's a lot to navigate and it's a lot to learn to do life again. And, as your milestones and the birthdays come up, you are reminded of what you don't have. And I think it's really hard. And for people, they think, oh, you've come such a long way, or you're so strong, and they just don't understand the missing link in your life. So And then for the health professionals, again, I think that is a tough one for them because a lot of the people on labor and delivery haven't experienced that. And so they don't really understand. And it's a conversation that I had with the nurses after I had Haven. And I just explained that we don't expect you to know what we're going through, but we do expect you to be extra loving for us and, you know, a support system, and to know that, you know, we birth our babies not alive and we have to give them away, you know, within 24 hours. So that's a lot, and to not rush our process. And I think that's important for the women behind us, to feel supported by family, friends, and especially healthcare workers.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I definitely think not rushing the process for us, right? We understand that everybody wants us whole and back to our old selves, but there is no old self. I think there's bits and pieces that you bring with you, but it's definitely a new normal that you have to live with, and it's a lifelong journey because we never get to raise our babies, right? So that's all we have, and that's all we can hold on to. Patricia, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, yeah. Going off of what everybody else has said, definitely saying their names, it is definitely one thing that I can say is like a major thing for me. And also, if I can say something towards like the healthcare professionals, is definitely needed when it comes to an area like this, working in the field that you work in. I know that, you know, maybe some hospitals are not, you know, they don't get it every day, or some, you know, it's definitely something that happens often, a little too often that it's just not spoken about. And if health professionals can have the training to at least be able to understand loss. Sorry. And also, can you guys hear me?
Yes, you're good.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So not only for, you know, the loss, you know, once you lose a child, for them to be able to have a conversation with you, or not just being there. And not only for that, but also when someone is having their rainbow baby, being able to have those conversations with you, or knowing what to say when they come into your room, or if they, you know, ask you about something. Because when I had my
Patricia, I'm sorry,
rainbow
we're having a
baby,
difficult time
I
hearing you.
think it was, the nurse I had was amazing. She was very much, you know, in tune with everything that was happening, of how to have a conversation with me. If you guys can hear me right now, to be able to have the training.
Thank you, Patricia. Sorry about that. Candace, do you have anything to add?
Yes, sorry, I'm in the store because I'm doing two things at once. As always, this is nothing new from my PCCO friends. The one thing I would say is, for healthcare professionals, I had a really amazing doctor with my second pregnancy. And this is for moms that are going to be going through like pregnancy again, and for the professionals. Empathy and advocating for yourself are my two things. Like, those are my two words that, you know, I want people to remember, because I advocated for myself, and my doctor was very, very intentional with the way that she took care of me. I needed to see her every week, and that's what she did. And I think that, you know, going into another pregnancy, knowing that it's not going to be the same, and you're, you know, have to dig your feet in, but if you have the person backing you, like the right type of person backing you, you can make it through it.
Thank you for sharing. Lynette?
I would just agree with everyone. Acknowledge our babies. And I know for some people that's hard because they're like, oh, you know, the baby's not here, but that was a life that we were preparing for, that we were looking forward to, a child we were looking forward to raising. And just because they're not here or they passed before they took their first breath, that's still our child. They still mattered. They will always matter. And so, you know, just recognizing them and taking time with us. Don't expect us to just be better overnight. And the other thing I would say for family, friends, anyone, the one thing that kind of bugged me a lot was people would say, oh, you can have another baby. That's like, you don't know what a person went through to even get to the point to have that one child. And you don't know if it's even possible for them to have another baby. And I know people mean well, but for us, it doesn't sit well. You know, it's a little hurtful when people said that to me, because like I said, I had to go through IVF to conceive. So it's just something that I wish people would stop saying.
Thank you so much, Lynette. I can totally relate. And having also an older child being told, well, at least you have her. And it's like, yes, but I don't have him. And I don't have, you know, my rainbow baby that I also lost. So much like you, Lynette, my baby was an IVF baby, but then I had a spontaneous pregnancy a few months later that resulted in a miscarriage. So for me, I hope, you know, going forward that everyone can afford and has access to a doula. I do think that I wish that more healthcare workers were open to that, and then more insurance companies honestly would be providing these services to people, because it's an added layer of advocacy for you and someone who can really advocate for you. Because sometimes we're advocating for ourselves, but we have providers that are just not listening. So that would be, if we have any providers on the line, would be, you know, listen to the moms. Like, we know, sometimes we know before the healthcare professionals when something is wrong. These babies are in our bodies and we're feeling everything. So I just want to thank you all for your time, for your courage, for your vulnerability. It isn't always, you know, easy to speak about our babies, and especially to do it in a public forum. So I really do appreciate your time. And I'm so glad that we all have this community to lean on. So thank you. And then we wanted to highlight some of the ways in which we remember our babies and the way that we memorialize them. And I have just a couple of things that I wanted to show myself from my baby. So I have, and perhaps this is not, yeah, these are his little handprints. So I keep these next to my bed in a little frame. And then I have his little diaper, which, you know, part of the thing that people don't talk about loss is that if you haven't experienced loss before, and especially if you've never had a baby in the NICU, you don't realize, number one, how tiny they are, but they make tiny diapers. So I do have one that I keep with me to memorialize him. And it helps me, you know, to remember him and to keep his light going. But this was shared by Patricia. This is Camila Chantel, and something that she wants you to know is that grief never ends. No matter how much you work at it, no matter how many kids you have after, you will always wonder, you will always see other kids, even your own kids reach milestones that they won't. We speak and celebrate our angel baby, not for any sympathy, but to keep their names and the memories we have to remember them alive, because they're a part of our lives. lives. So mentioning our child's name brings us joy, happiness, warmth to the heart. So please continue to say her name with us, and we will. Camila Chantel. And so this is part of our education here, is it's knowing and teaching others that when a baby passes away, you can still honor their birth order, and you can speak about that child in that birth order to their parents and acknowledge their existence. And we have some tributes from members here. This is from Candace in honor of Aiden Anderson, who is a big brother to Grayson. He handpicked him for her from heaven. And this is just a beautiful little tribute from Kelsey. This is in honor of big sister Emerson and her little brother Elliot Snook. And so this is a picture on the left-hand side of Emerson, a beautiful little girl, and we will honor her life and Elliot's life. This is Emily's baby, and this is in honor of middle sister Leah Bell. We miss all our babies, and we're just grateful to be able to share them with you guys. And then we have a little video that we're going to show. And this is a moment of hope and remembrance for all of our babies.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jermaine Tulloch, and I want to say thank you for the invitation to join you for the virtual gala today. And I am excited to lift up a song of praise and worship, and I hope you enjoy it and join right along with me. It's a throwback. It is called God Is by the Reverend James Cleveland. That's a song I used to hear my aunts and my grandmother sing around the house growing up. So I decided to present it to you today. God bless. God is my protection. God is my all and all. God is my light in darkness. You see, God is my all and all. God is my joy in the time of sorrow. Oh, God is my all and all. God is He's my today and my tomorrow. Oh, God is, He's my all and all. Don't you know God is the joy and the strength of my life? He removes all pain, misery, and strife. He promised to keep me, never to leave me, never ever come short of his word. I've got to fast and pray, stay in the narrow way, keep my life clean each and every day. I want to go with him when he comes back. I've come too far and I'll never turn back. God is, God is, God is, God is, God is my all and all. God is the joy and the strength of my life. He removes all pain, misery, and strife. He promised to keep me, never to leave me, never ever go short of his word. I've got to fast and pray, stay in the narrow way, keep my life clean each and every day. I want to go with him when he comes back. I've come too far and I'll never turn back. God is, God is, God is, God is, God is my all and God is, you know, God is, God is my all and God is, God is, God is my all and all. God bless you all on today.
Every day, we will continue to honor babies gone too soon from parents and families that love and miss them dearly. We will honor their babies through our advocacy, through our workshops, support groups, and so much more. We encourage you to reach out to a family who experienced this pain and let them know that and let them know that you remember their babies. Thank you. Now, there on the screen again. If you would like to share the love, you can do so by sending money to PCCO or through PayPal, Proper City Co. or Venmo. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for sharing the love.
Thank you, Lynette. Stephanie Crawford, founder of Proper City Community Outreach, was actually presented with an official citation from State Rep Liz Miranda back in November. And I just want to read briefly some of the comments that she made at that time when presenting Stephanie with her award. Of course, I can't. 1 second. All right. So from Representative Liz Miranda, today I was happy to present an official citation to Stephanie Crawford of Proper City Community Outreach for her work in turning her pain into power in the birthing justice space here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The healing circles, events, and community she has created to support families going through pregnancy, loss, and infertility has helped dozens of families. And I would say hundreds, actually. Thank you, Stephanie, for all you do and Proper City have done in this space. I'm proud we are all stronger, better, and working to reduce these inequities together. So thank you so much, Stephanie Crawford, our founder. This citation is very special to me. I had written into Kevin Higgins and Representative Liz Miranda and felt very strongly that Stephanie should be honored for her efforts and for everything that she's done in the past 11 years to honor Simeon. It may have become a very personal journey at the time, but it really has become all about community and how you support us. And, you know, for some of you who may not have known, this is also very much an organization that is grounded in faith. And it's something that I appreciate, whether it's she's sharing a scripture or Pastor Tara is on the line preaching to us, you know, an extension of you. It's just beautiful to see what a gift you've given us, a gift you've given yourself as well in terms of your healing. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for letting me be a part of this and for encouraging me too on my own journey with creating the EMA project.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Thank you so much, everyone. This meant a lot to me to receive this, and the work that State Rep Liz Miranda is doing is just amazing, and that she has pulled us in. I actually met Jessica through State Rep Miranda, and that was just kind of it. After that, we just, like, she came to our very first gala, the in-person gala, and from there, she just said, yeah, we got to work together. We got to do this. And it's just been really great to continue to work with her and just be a part of what she's doing, and that she's a part of what we're doing. And I just really love it. So I guess this is me. I don't know if you guys saw me. I was trying not to be on screen, but I wanted so bad to jump into that mama chat and be with all of my mamas, because I just remember, I can specifically remember meeting everyone for the very first time, and it's bringing me back all over again. I was teary watching you guys, but being here again, I feel the same way. I'm just, this is definitely, as Jessica said, it was personal in the sense of, I was like, I have to do something because I just don't even understand what happened to me. I was still sitting on my couch healing physically and everything. Like I was literally still, I had just had a baby, and I was like, yeah, I don't know what just happened to me. And I read this book at the hospital where people, you know, wrote to their babies and everyone that had lost their children. And I was like, and it happens to other people. Weird. And that was all I was thinking, like, this is so weird. And I said, I just want to be there for the next person because this is crazy. They can't do it by themselves. And ever since then, like Jessica said, sorry guys, it has definitely become not about me and not about, you know, because from me and Lynette has always been there with me. And then we have the board and we're helping people. And then everyone that comes in, we're making sure that we're connecting them with someone. There's everyone's stories, they're here. And I'm like, oh, as I meet someone, I know someone you can talk to. And so now we're helping each other and we're helping other people. And as Jessica said, she's starting a foundation to help other people. And that is what we want to do. We don't want to keep everything to ourselves. We want to expand, and we want there to be so many more organizations that come out of the members of Proper City for every different reason. Because every single mom that comes through has a purpose, and there is something that they are like, this is what I feel strongly about. And so that is what's important to us. And I know that there are so many other moms that are not on right now and that were not a part of the mama chat. And if I could have everyone there, I would love it. But I do very specifically remember meeting everyone, whether it was in person, when they walked in, when they sent me an email, like, I think you might be able to help me. And I was like, absolutely, whatever it is you need, we'll figure it out. To a phone call, to a Zoom meeting, for the very first time. And so watching you all share your stories and your journeys and your grief and your tears and what the little progress you think you've made, that is so great to me. And I know other people in your life can see just where you were when you had that loss. And as the words that Patricia said, like confused and like dark and like, you know, how I was, what just happened, to now being able to articulate that to other people and to advocate for others and for yourself. So that is just so important to me. It's so important to have my board members on. It's so important to have my our sponsors and our partnering organizations on. And by on, I know that I just love Facebook is on, Zoom is on, and I just love it. And I know that we will continue to share this video as much as we can to continue to get the word out. Again, we are not saying share the money. It's very appreciated, but share the love. So continue to share this video when you see it, and let people know so that they can hear from not only us, but from the families and the moms that are living this experience every day. They didn't live it before, they're living it every day and will continue to live it for the rest of their lives. And I hope that one thing we take away is what they gave us and what they want us to know, and that we, you know, I wrote some things down, but to say our babies' names, to be patient with us, don't rush our process, educate yourself, whether you are a family member, a friend, whether you are a healthcare professional, educate yourself on how to support us, how to help us, how to work with us, because we are not the same. We're always, you know, we're changed forever. And so the way we walked into the doctor's office before our loss is not the way we're walking in now. We're anxious, we're nervous, we're scared. We don't want to lay on that table. We don't want you to touch us. We want you to say exactly what you're doing before you do it, because now everything reminds us of that loss and that time. And so again, thank everyone so much for being on. I would love to highlight my board one more time if I can, just to show the people that are doing the work, that are helping me with ideas, that are pushing forward and really just doing the work with me. Thank you so much, Jessica. Thank you so much, Pastor Tara. Thank you so much, Lynette. I really do appreciate all of the work that you are doing with us. And so now I'll play our final video, and then I will I'll share the love screen one more time as we end.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Simeon. Happy Happy birthday, Simeon. We love you.
Thank you everyone for celebrating my son's birthday. He would have been 11 years old, and we will continue to do this every year. So thank you not only for supporting Proper City, but for helping me honor my son. Please share the love in any way that you can, in any way that feels right to you.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Thank you everyone for being here.